Speech off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to do a very late March TBR. I already read a few books, but you know. I mean, middle grade March, there's going to be tons of books read, in theory. I'm kind of having a little bit of a slow start. Anyway, so I'll get started. I'm going to start with all the middle grade. I pretty much just kind of went through my Goodreads to see what I had for middle grade and what I really wanted to get to. There was a lot. A lot and yet not that much compared to some people. So I just don't read a ton of middle grade. Or I read it throughout the year because I really want to read it. So anyway, the first one I have here is All the Impossible Things by Lindsay Lackey. I've had this one on my TBR for years and I haven't read it. So this is a middle grade novel about a young girl navigating the foster care system in search of where she belongs. Red's inexplicable power over the wind comes from her mother. Whenever Ruby, Red, Bird is scared or angry, the wind picks up, and being placed in foster care, moving from family to family, tends to keep her skies stormy. Red knows she has to learn to control it, but can't figure out how. This time, the wind blows Red into the home of the Grooves, a quirky couple who run a petting zoo complete with a dancing donkey and a giant tortoise. With their own curious gifts, Celine and Jackson Groove seem to fit like a puzzle piece into Red's heart. But just as Red starts to settle into her new life, a fresh storm rolls in, one she knows all too well. Her mother. For so long, Red has longed to have her mom back in her life, and she's quickly swept up in the vortex of her mother's chaos. Now Red must discover the possible in the impossible if she wants to overcome her own tornadoes and find the family she needs. This book has always sounded really good, and like I said, it's been on my TBR forever, since I got Goodreads. It's literally the first one on my Goodreads, like, want to read from when I first started Goodreads. So, yeah. Next we have The Only Black Girls in Town by Brandy Colbert. I heard about this one through the Currently Reading podcast Indie Press List a couple of years ago. So, I was going to read it for Black History Month, and I never did. Anyway, beach-living surfer Alberta has been the only black girl in town for years. Alberta's best friend, Laramie, is the closest thing she has to a sister. But there are some things even Laramie can't understand. When the bed and breakfast across the street finds new owners, Alberta is ecstatic to learn the family is black and they have a 12-year-old daughter just like her. Alberta is positive she and the new girl, Edie, will be fast friends. But while Alberta loves being a California girl, Edie misses her native Brooklyn and finds it hard to adapt to small-town living. When the girls discover a box of old journals in Edie's attic, they team up to figure out exactly who is behind them and why they got left behind. Soon they discover shocking and painful secrets of the past and learn that nothing is quite what it seems. Interesting, right? Then I have a Little Women retelling. I actually have a few Little Women retellings on my TBR, but I'm picking one because we gotta get to other things, right? So I'm picking So Many Beginnings by Bethany C. Morrow. It's a retelling of Little Women, but I'll read the description. North Carolina, 1863. As the American Civil War rages on, the freedmen's colony of Roanoke Island is blossoming, a haven for the recently emancipated. Black people have begun building a community of their own, a refuge from the shadow of the old life. It is where the March family has finally been able to safely put down roots with 4 young daughters. Meg, a teacher who longs to find love and start a family of her own. Jo, a writer whose words are too powerful to be contained. Beth, a talented seamstress searching for a higher purpose. Amy, a dancer eager to explore life outside her family's home. As the 4 March sisters come into their own as independent young women, they will face first love, health struggles, heartbreak, and new horizons. But can they face it all together? But they will face it all together. That didn't make sense. Then, next on my list, I'm going to read The Secret Garden and A Little Princess. I don't need to read descriptions for that, right? Everybody knows what those are about. I want to read The Secret Garden because I want to read a retelling of The Secret Garden after that. But I added Little Princess to the list. I don't know why. I think it's because I saw them at the same time. I remember we rented the two movies at the same time, and then I found out they're written by the same author, so I don't know. Whenever I think of The Secret Garden, I think of The Little Princess and vice versa. It's like I always have to read them together. It's weird. Whatever, it's fine. Actually got reminded I wanted to read them by can't remember. I'll tag you when I actually remember who you are. It's so bad. Angela's Bookshelf. Right? Yeah. Angela? I'm terrible. Anyway. Yeah, I want to read those, and then I want to read this retelling. It's called A Bit of Earth by Karuna Riazi. I heard about this one from Ashley from the Bookish Realm. Growing up in Pakistan, Maria Latif has been bounced between reluctant relatives for as long as she can remember, first because of her parents' constant travel and then because of their deaths. Maria has always been a difficult child, and it never takes long for her guardians to tire of her. So when old friends of her parents offer to give her a better life in the United States, Maria is shipped to a host family across the world. When Maria arrives on Long Island, things are not quite what she was expecting. Mr. Claiborne has left on an extended business trip. Mrs. Claiborne seems emotionally fraught. Inexplicable things keep happening in the Claiborne's sprawling house. And then Maria finds a locked gate to an off-limits garden. Since she's never been good at following rules, Maria decides to investigate and discovers something she never thought she'd find. A place where she feels at home. So yeah, I want to read The Secret Garden and then read this. So yeah. Then I picked a couple of books by Jennifer Nielsen. I've bought like 4 or 5 of them and I have not read a one. It is so bad. So I have Resistance by Jennifer A. Nielsen. Kaya Lidner is a teenager living in Nazi-occupied Poland. Simply being Jewish places her in danger of being killed or sent to the camps. After her little sister is taken away, her younger brother disappears, and her parents all but give up hope, Kaya is determined to make a difference. Using forged papers and her fair features, Kaya becomes a courier and travels between the Jewish ghettos of Poland, smuggling food, papers, and even people. Soon Kaya joins a resistance cell that runs raids on the Nazis' supplies. But after a mission goes terribly wrong, Kaya's network shatters. She is alone and unsure of where to go until Esther, a member of her cell, finds her and delivers a message that chills Kaya to her core and sends her on a journey toward an even larger uprising in the Warsaw Ghetto. Though the Jewish resistance never had much of a chance against the Nazis, they were determined to save as many lives as possible and to live or die with honor. So there's that one. And then I have A Night Divided, also by Jennifer A. Nielsen. Krista from Books and Jams, who is hosting Middle Grade March, also read this. I think she read this last year. That's when I started my Jennifer Nielsen kick. Then I bought all the books and I haven't read them. So this one is, just to save time, I'll summarize this one. Basically, with the rise of the Berlin Wall, 12-year-old Gerda, her family gets divided. She and her mother and her brother Fritz live on the eastern side, controlled by the Soviets, and her father and her middle brother, they went west, basically get stuck there, and they can't come back. And then her dad basically starts trying to get her to dig her way to the west side. So can they dig their way to the west side? We shall see. Then I have A Spoonful of Time by Flora Ahn. I heard about this one from Ashley from Bookish Realm. This one's a time travel one. Maya's grandmother, Hominy, may be losing her memory, but she hasn't lost her magic touch in the kitchen. Whether she serves salty... I'm not even going to try to say this word. Or sweet sangpayon. She serves good food. She serves good food. Her stories about Korea come to life for Maya. Then one day, something extraordinary happens. One delicious bite transports Maya and Hominy into one of Hominy's memories. Suddenly, they're in Seoul, and Hominy is young. This is just the first of many secrets Maya will uncover that she and her grandmother can travel through time. As Maya eats her way through the past, her questions multiply until a shocking discovery transforms everything she thought she knew about family, friendship, loss, and time itself. I've never heard of time travel via food. I've wanted this book since it came out, and it's been out for almost a year, and I have yet to read it. That's my problem. I get all these books and get really excited, and then I don't read a single one because so much more is coming out. Anyway, then we have The Swifts, A Dictionary of Scoundrels by Beth Lincoln. I first heard about this one through the Currently Reading podcast Indie Press List, and then Kelly from Kelly Reads a Lot is reading it. So, yeah. In her family, Shenanigan Swift has always been synonymous with mischief. As Arch Aunt I cannot pronounce this word. Schadenfreude always said she can't help her name. When a family reunion suddenly turns into a murder mystery, Shenanigan is determined to catch the perpetrator. So basically, all the people in this family, I guess they just like flip open the dictionary and you get named whatever word pops up when you're born. And so she got named Shenanigan. Oh, okay. Here, for some reason, the description of Goodreads is weirdly out of order when it pasted. Yeah. On the day they are born, a Swift child is brought before the Sacred Family Dictionary. They are given a name and a definition. One, it's assumed they will grow up to match. Unfortunately, Shenanigan Swift doesn't much like being told what to do. Troublemaker and mischief enthusiast Shenanigan rattles around the grand old Swift house, rehearsing Arch Aunt I cannot pronounce this word. Funeral. She rehearses this aunt's funeral with her older sisters, Phenomena and Felicity, plotting future crimes and wondering whether she is herself by choice or design. When the family reunion floods the house with people, Shenanigan is excited to meet her rogues gallery of relatives until one of them gives the aunt a deadly shove down the stairs. Shenanigan has plans to spend the reunion hunting for great Uncle Vile's hidden treasure, but more murders and an awful lot of suspects, from newcomers Daisy and Atrocious to beloved Uncle Maelstrom, keep complicating Shenanigan's plans. With some help from her sisters and their newly befriended cousin Earth, can Shenanigan catch the killer? And in a world where definitions are so important, how will she define herself? Good grief. That description was complicated, and I could barely get through it. How am I going to read this book? I'm going to have to listen to the audio. I cannot pronounce Schadenfreude. I'll let you know how to pronounce that later. Next, we have Beneath the Swirling Sky by Carolyn Liloglo. I'm very sorry. Also recommended by the Currently Reading podcasts Indie Press List. Actually, no, I think it was just a podcast. Whatever. A house full of paintings, a missing sister, and a family secret send a boy and his cousin into a world where art is the key in this fantasy adventure. Basically, he can jump into paintings. And he has to rescue his sister. So, yeah, and apparently there's some Christian fiction elements to this book. So, for my Christian fiction fans, go for this one. Then we have The Widely Unknown Myth of Apple and Dorothy by Corey Ann Haydu. Heard about this one from the Fabled book preview. This is based on Greek mythology. So, yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce these names. Then we have Shooting Couple by N.H. Senzai. I heard about this one from Krista from Books and Jams. And then Jen's Reading Life, too. I think she talked about it. Basically, in the summer of 2001, 12-year-old Fadi's parents make the difficult decision to illegally leave Afghanistan and move the family to the United States. When their underground transport arrives at the rendezvous point, chaos ensues and Fadi is left dragging his younger sister, Miriam through the crush of people. But Miriam accidentally lets go of his hand and becomes lost in the crowd just as Fadi is snatched up into the truck. With Taliban soldiers closing in, the truck speeds away, leaving Miriam behind. Adjusting to life in the United States isn't easy for Fadi's family, and as the events of September 11th unfold, the prospects of locating Miriam in a war-torn Afghanistan seem slim. When a photography competition with a grand prize trip to India is announced, Fadi seeks his chance to return to Afghanistan and find his sister. But can one photo really bring Miriam home? I hope it can, because I don't want to cry if they don't find this kid. And we have an American Girl book, Adventures with Claudie by Britt Bennett. It's the second one in the series, so I'm not going to talk about it. And we have The Last Book Wanderer by Anna James. It's the Last Pages & Co. book. So I managed to get it from the library. I just got it. It wasn't at my library 2 days ago, and then it was there today, and I was able to borrow it, probably because I've been, looking for it constantly, so I was able to grab it before anyone got it on hold, so I'm going to read it fast. Probably that's my next book so that other people can have it. It just came out. And then I might read The Wizard of Oz. I bought the audio collection of all the Wizard of Oz books, their Libro FM during their Black Friday sale back in November. So I have all of them. I didn't even know that The Wizard of Oz was a series. So yeah, I want to read through the whole series. Probably only going to read one this month, if I even get to it. I probably won't, but we'll see. Because I also have some adult books I want to get to. Not that many, I promise. I want to read The Heirloom by Beverly Lewis. It is part of the Shunning series. I guess it's a prequel. I was really excited about it, and I haven't gotten to it. It is bad. I really wanted to get to it. Lizzie from Lizzie Faye Loves Books read it, and she likes it. So, yeah, I'm hoping to get to it. Then I want to read Bye Baby by Carol Loving. I heard about this one months ago through the Reading Through Life podcast. And then I heard about it through Chloe from Always Books. Always Booked. So I really want to get to it because I've been waiting for it. So I'll read the description for that one. A missing baby, a fraught friendship, a secret that can never be told. On a brisk fall night in a New York City apartment, 35-year-old Billie West hears terrified screams. It's her lifelong best friend, Cassie Barnwell, one floor above, and she's just realized her infant daughter has gone missing. Billie is shaken as she looks down into her own arms to see the baby, remembering with a jolt of fear that she is responsible for the kidnapping that has instantly shattered Cassie's world. So basically it's a story of their friendship and how one of them kidnapped the other one's baby. So, yeah. And I want to try to get to at least a couple of mysteries for March Mystery Madness. I at least want to read The Secret Book and Scone Society by Ellery Adams. It's a series. In theory, I would want to read more than one, but not happening. And I do want to read a couple of Mary Higgins Clark books. Where Are the Children? And Where Are the Children Now? So I'm hoping to get to those. And then I'm in the middle of the Cedar Cove series. So the next one is 6 Rainier Drive by Debbie Maycomer. And I also am starting the Baxter series by Karen Kingsbury because her TV show is coming out next month. So I want to read Redemption by Karen Kingsbury, at least the series that the books that the show is based on. So it would be 4 or 5 books in the series, but I'll probably wait for April to read those. I don't know. And then Ready or Not by Kara Bastone. Ravenclaw Reads read this one. I'm still trying to memorize the names of the new booktubers I subscribe to, so please forgive me. And then The War Orphans by Anna Stewart is my last one. This one just came out. I cannot resist an Anna Stewart book. And then I have a couple of nonfictions. I want to read Prairie Fires, The American Dreams of Laura Ingalls Wilder by Carolyn Fraser. I just read Pioneer Girl during the Little House readathon, and I really want to read Prairie Fires. I was going to wait until next year, but I can't. But that one I'm going to take my time with because it's huge, so it's not going to get done this month. It's just not. And then Little Girl Lost by Casey Watson. It's also nonfiction. It's one of the fostering memoirs I read. Basically, I read books by foster carers who write like memoirs about the different kids they take care of. I just read another one this month by Maggie Hartley. It seems like Maggie Hartley and Casey Watson both have books that are coming out in March. And I'm done talking. That is a very long TBR, which I probably won't get to everything, or even half of everything. But hey, there's always the rest of the year, right? Anyway, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm really hoping to get to 100 subscribers by June. That would make me very happy. So yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!
Speech on. One face near right edge. Stop recording video.